What happens when you stop playing it safe? I want to tell you guys about what happened to me when I accidentally moved to Dubai. I had a return flight booked and I even had a partner at home. I genuinely thought that I was just coming for a little 2-week break. Bit of sun, see my mentor, remember that guy who I told you about who I risked my last $3,000 on? Well, he invited me to his apartment in the Burj Khalifa to meet some of the girls and the guys inside the mentorship who I'd been talking to on Zoom for the past 6 months in real life. And this is genuinely when everything changed for me. Just a quick backstory, I had already been to Dubai a few times before. I'd been in 2013, 2018, and then again in 2019 with the girls for a party holiday. So I already knew what it was like. It wasn't just some wild unknown place to me, but every time I left, I felt this weird ache. Like I'd land back in the UK and I'd just feel like, I don't want to be here anymore. And it wasn't like that with other places that I've been. Most holidays, I was absolutely buzzing and I couldn't wait to get back in my own bed. But it wasn't like that with Dubai. There was just something about it. The energy, the pace, the level of wealth, the mindset of the people, it made me want more. And every time I visited, it was like something in me just woke up. Fast forward to January 2021, we're just about to go into a second lockdown. I actually had a partner at the time, but I felt stuck. So I booked a flight to Dubai, a return flight by the way, thinking that I'd just go for a bit of sun, meet my mentor, get away for a bit, connect with some online coaches. And I told myself I just needed a little bit of a reset before we went back into Lucky D. And I didn't really think that it was, that deep. And then the UK got put on the red list, didn't it? So I got stranded there for 3 months, living in a hotel. I know, terrible times. Where was me, right? But the maddest part of it was during those 3 months, my business exploded. And I went from 10 online clients to 50 within the space of 90 days. And I made £8,000 in 1 month. And that was the most money that I'd ever made. I had so much more clarity, so much more drive. And it was the first time in my life that I ever felt excited and passionate about work. But I remember feeling relieved as well because I'd been working so hard for 6 months on the business, showing up every day on Instagram, posting every day. I mean, with zero clue what I was doing. And it might not seem like a lot of money to some people, but for me it was huge because it was the first big milestone on the whole, tracking to 6 figures, blah, blah. But more than that, I was growing so much personally. I was around people who thought big, and I remember being at Smoky Mo's on JBR with these 2 boys who were also in the mentorship, and they were younger than me as well, and they were talking like they'd already hit 10 to 15k a month, which was fucking insane to me because, as I say, they were both early 20s, and that was the first time I think I'd met people in person who were doing numbers like that with an online business, who were similar to me and hadn't long started their business either. And I just knew like this was the environment I needed to be in. And the only other millionaires that I knew in Liverpool were my old bosses who own the solicitors, which we'd already decided that I didn't want to do, or footballers or drug dealers. So when I came home after those 3 months, everything just felt off. Like that I changed, but nothing else had. So that was that. Broke up with my partner, sold my house, sold my car, and then moved back to Dubai full time not long after, because for me, playing it safe was starting to feel like a bigger risk. I'd already had a taste of what the good life was, and I wasn't willing to settle for that anymore. I didn't want to build a life around comfort. I could have just gone back to my nice little comfortable life in Liverpool, but I wanted that growth. I wanted the expansion. I wanted to see what I was really capable of, and that just doesn't happen hanging around with the same people who you've always known who aren't going anywhere. And the thing is, guys, like everyone waits or expects this big lightning movement, like, oh, this is your time, this is the perfect sign, go and treat or this perfect sign that says go and chase your dream now. But most of the time it's subtle and it whispers, and it's the little things like you dreading every Monday, shrinking yourself every time you say, oh, I might do it next year or one day. It's you going back to what's familiar even though you know it's draining you. Now, my original sign was back in 2013, the way I felt when I got to Dubai, that excitement. It took me 4 holidays here to realise that I just couldn't keep ignoring this feeling. feeling. And if I didn't ignore it the first time, then who knows, I might have been here 6 years earlier. But the decision to move, that was, my decision to stop playing it safe, to actually trust and back myself to build something better. And if you've got a feeling that you're meant for more, that's there for a reason. Don't ignore that, guys, or you'll spend the rest of your time in life wondering what if. So yeah, this is what happens when you stop playing it safe and you actually go and give yourself a real shot. So if you're ready to stop playing small and you want to learn the skill that actually gave me the freedom, go ahead and book a strategy call on the link below, and let's have a chat about getting into remote sales.